You know that feeling when you want something so bad it hurts? Yeah, that's how you feel about your desires. And your intensity in needing this thing is actually repelling it away. Wanting something so intensely is often seen as passion and drive. But there's a very thin line between passion and neediness. Let me give you an example. Have you ever dated a very needy person? I love you so much I could die. He's on his way over here. Oh my, this dude. Okay, I think I gotta end this. This is cringy as fuck. And anytime they professed their love for you, it low-key made you cringe because they seemed kind of pathetic. But to them, they would say, I'm just passionate. I just love you so much.
What's up, baby? You didn't answer my call last night. I was really missing you. That's why I came over here. I just love you so much. I was like, I can't eat. I can't sleep. I just had to make sure you was okay.
Yeah, that's how you are with your desires. You may feel like you're just so passionate and it's just this calling that makes you want it. But your neediness is actually repelling it away.
Dude, no. I'm sorry. This is not gonna work. No, no, it's not gonna work. No.
But then you know the guy who you were obsessed over because he didn't really need you. He was too cool for school. He acted like he didn't care. And something about him not caring made you want him more.
Gosh, he's so cool.
This is how I want you to become about your desires. I want you to become the too cool for school guy, where you are so fulfilled and so secure that your desires start to chase you. Your desires become obsessed with you. The only way you can do that is by practicing detachment. Hi, I'm Beyond Taylor, and I am here to help you go beyond your self-imposed limitations. So today we are going to talk about detachment. 5 ways for you to detach from your desired outcome because it's done. You're so detached because you want to control. You don't need to control. Have faith, let it go. It's done. I'm going to show you how to become like the too cool for school guy. The guy that everybody wants, and he's unfazed because he's so secure within himself. He's so confident. He knows he doesn't have to do too much. That's what I want you to become. And believe me, I understand how difficult it can be to detach from your desires when you are waiting for the physical representation to show up, when you are waiting to align, or when you are aligning with this. I know how difficult it can be. When I was 8 months pregnant, I know a lot of you know this story, but it's just so important to recognize. That was when I remembered my power. I remembered that I am the one that's creating the circumstances that are presented in my life. So I got really serious and committed to living in the end and to trusting that it's all working out for me, even though my senses are denying what I know to be true. So even when everything seemed to be, falling apart, and I told myself when I was 8 months pregnant, I said, I'm not going back to my job. I was a server at IHOP, and I said, I'm not going back to that job. I'm going to figure it out. Or not I'm going to figure it out, but I'm going to live in the end of what I desire, which is to create content and to get paid for creating content and to have a successful business. That was what I wanted, and to be in a harmonious, loving relationship with my child's father. That was what I desired, and I had no way of how that was because at that point I was single, working at IHOP, and I wasn't even creating content at the time. So this was delusional, but it wasn't, because I knew what the power of the law of assumption could do. I knew the power of this work. I've done it many times before. I just have forgotten. I had got caught back up into my victimhood, into my low self-worth, into my narrative that I had been telling for so long. And I was just like, it's just about flipping the switch and just taking my attention off of this reality and placing it on the reality that I want. So I started to put my attention on the fact that I got to stay home with my daughter, right? I didn't have to put her, because I did not want to put her in daycare. But I'm like, I don't have to do that. I stay home with her, I create content, my business is doing well, and that was it. And I was like, I'm not negotiating with myself. I'm not negotiating with anybody. And people, who loved me dearly would say to me, Taylor, you got to be realistic. You need to start looking for a job. You need to start, looking into daycares. You need to start figuring out how you're going to do this on your own. But in my head, that wasn't the case. And honestly, when people are saying that to us, we have to also realize that they are just echoing like our fears back to us. So like, don't take it personal. Just see it like, oh, it's just a mirror, and this is like, these are still fears that I have. And like, based on how I respond to these individuals is going to tell me where I am vibrationally, where I am in alignment to my goal. So like, before I would get defensive, like, you know what you're talking about. But when I really got into the fulfillment state, when I really got into the end, like when I knew that it was done, I would just say, okay, you know, people would say to me, you know, you need to start looking for a job. Okay. You need to do this. You need to do this. Okay. But in my heart, I knew I wouldn't have to do any of that, because I know that things are working out for me. They're always working out for me. I would go on walks all the time, and then, you know, I would start thinking like, well, how, you know, the thoughts, the doubts and the worries and the fears, people asking me questions like, what are you going to do? And I really didn't have an answer. I would just tell them what they wanted to hear. Like, yeah, you know, I got to get a job. I got to put her in debt. You know, I would just say those things. But internally, I knew that, like, I'm just saying what I feel like people want to hear, and because I really don't have an answer, I'll just give the answer that I think people want to hear. But I knew my answer when somebody was about 2 months, right? I'm in the end, I'm in the wish fulfilled, everything's working out for me. Like, things had already started to get better, but it wasn't until she was about 2 months that I'm like, okay, you know, I have a month left of maternity leave, I got to figure it out. That everything fell into place, right? Me and her dad had got back together. He was like, I'll take care of the bills, you just stay home with Samaya. I was able to focus on 100% like on YouTube. My YouTube had got monetized like within a month. So I started making money off YouTube. I started like promoting the business. That was like definitely an inspired action. Like, oh, I should probably just start taking clients. Then I was like, oh, I should probably open like a group membership. And this was just like all inspired thoughts. And I was like, yeah, that definitely sounds good. And I just started to act on these things. And within 3 months, I'm doing what I want to do. And life just continues to get better. And it continues to unfold for me in beautiful ways. And it's because I detached from the how. I detached from the when. I detached from the who. Right? Because at first I was like, no, it can't be this. Like at first I was saying, it can't be that. Can't work out this way because I don't want that. But I just detached from that. I said, I'm open and I'm receptive to the ways that the universe wants to allow my desires to unfold. I'm completely open. And from that, everything just took care of itself. And it continues to take care of itself. Life just continues to get better and better and better and better because I detached, because I visualized every single day, right? And I'll go into that about what you should do at the end of the video. Relax, as Neuro would say, you go get some. I got to figure out my own way to say you go get some. Shout out to Neuro Knowledge. It's all working out. Just detach. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the law of detachment, why you should be practicing in order to align with your desires. And then at the end, I'm going to tell you 5 ways to detach starting today. Because we don't want to wait. We want to start this process as soon as possible. For a lot of you, you're extremely attached to your desires because you feel like it's going to be the end all be all, right? You feel like once you get this thing, everything in your life is just going to start to align. It's going to start to make sense. And while this could be true, the fact that you're waiting for your desire to manifest in order to feel that way is what's keeping it at a distance, because our emotions are the magnets. So that neediness energy is what's going to repel it away, because that neediness means we don't have it, which means that we're lacking. And the world is just a mirror. So if we feel that we're lacking, the world's like, you're right. Here's the lack thereof of your desire. But when we feel secure and we feel that it's done and we have faith that when we claim it, when we assume, right? When we assume that this is who we are now, and we really step into that conviction, the world becomes a mirror and reflects that right back to us. So the law of detachment is about releasing ourselves from how it's all going to play out. Let me share this Bible verse with you. For whoever has, to him more will be given, and he will have an abundance. But whoever does not have, even what he does have will be taken from him. This is so crucial when it comes to detaching, because you're so attached because, again, you feel like you need this thing in order to feel fulfilled. In the scripture, and Jesus was telling them, even though he was referring to knowledge when he was talking to them, and he was like, this is why I speak in parables. But I feel like this parable speaks to the larger notion that if you don't feel like you have what you desire now, even what you have will be taken from you, right? But to him who has, which means he has an imagination, he has an embodiment, he has an feeling, then he will be given more and he will live in abundance. And the only way to feel like you have it now is to detach from how it's going to all take place. You don't know when, where, who, or how. It's not your business. You have to detach from all the questions that your logical mind is going to come up with for the fulfillment of your desire. Your logical mind is going to be like, well, when is it going to come? What is it going to look like? How do I know when it's here, right? These are common questions in the manifestation community. And it's because you're still so attached to the outcome. You're still so attached to even how it's going to work out. Let that go. It's not your business. Just have it now. Claim it now. Have conviction for it now. Because he who has will be given more, will be given in abundance. The law of detachment is literally just about accepting the end now. When you accept it, when you claim it in imagination, when you just claim it, just period, just claim it. What do you desire right now? Say it out loud. Now just say it's mine. You don't have to desire it when it's yours. When you are in the consciousness of having it. It's just simply about detachment. Is about taking your attention off of the lack, taking your attention off of I want, I desire, and placing your attention on I have, I am. And we know I talk about videos all the time about how you place your attention on having it and being it by remembering who you are, because you are the I amness. You are the field of unified consciousness in which all experiences come and go. You are not separate from anything in this universe. So what could you lack? What could you need when you are everything? I think it was even either Alan Watts or Ram Dass that says, we're all just God and drag. Everything that you see is just God and drag. And that's you. So what could you ever need? You don't have to become attached to how it's all going to play out. Why do people have such a hard time with detaching? And again, it comes down to this not trusting in the process. You don't trust that when you claim it, it's going to happen. Even though you trust that when you eat your food, it's digesting itself. You trust that when you wake up in the morning and open your eyes, you're going to see, if you can see. But you trust these things. You trust that when you get a cut, it's going to heal itself. So why don't you trust that when you claim something within your experience, it's going to happen? Because of the stories that you are telling yourself, because of the narrative that is constantly running through your mind. You have more faith in your conditioning, which that's all your thoughts are. That is just conditioning. And it's just conditioning because you don't think in languages that you've never learned. You think in languages that you've been taught, which means that every thought that you have has been something you've learned. It's not the truth. It's not who you are. And that's just the case. So it's just conditioning. But you have so much conviction in what your mind is saying that you forget that it's all taking care of itself. And when you place so much of your attention, your awareness, and what your thoughts are saying, it's going to focus on how you don't have, because it's so tangled up with what it can perceive. It's so tangled up with the sense world. And I'm asking you to disentangle yourself from your senses. What you see is just the past, because you are seeing the past through the filter of your conditioning. So as your conditioning is rearranging itself, I want you to take your attention to your imagination or to the present moment and just see how everything is perfect now. Everything is taking care of itself now. And if you need more of a trust in this process, just go outside and look in the sky. It's all held together. Look at the grass, look at the trees, just like that. That's why nature is so powerful in like calming our nervous system, because we really feel our interconnectedness with everything and how we are being taken care of. So go do that. Go outside. See how it's all happening on its own. It's all taken care of. And this force that takes care of these things, why wouldn't it take care of you? When Jesus says, look at the lilies and how they toll, even Solomon in all his glory is not dressed as great as the lilies. I feel like I'm really messing that up. But, Don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Tomorrow will take care of itself. Just detach completely from the outcome. But you have a difficult time doing that because of the narration within your mind. Because you need this thing in order to feel complete now. And the only reason why you don't feel complete is because you think that you're not complete. Right? It's the thoughts that are shaping your story and saying, I need this in order to feel, I need the money now. I need the money in my bank account, because if I don't have the money, then I can't pay my bills. And if I can't pay my bills, or I can't pay my expenses, then I'm going to be on the street. Like, your mind goes to the extreme. When that's not the case. You always figure it out. You have always figured it out. Things have always came together for you. And even when they didn't come together, be radically accountable and see that it's because you could not take your attention off the problem. You could only focus on the problem, which is why you got more of the problem. Be radically honest with yourself right now. When you had distress in your life, when things were going, way left field, they were going wrong. Were you focusing on the solution? Can you honestly say that you were living in faith that things were going to work out, and you were 100% focused on living in the end and on the solution? I would say majority of you, if you're being honest, you weren't. You were just exaggerating the problem, making the problem much bigger than it is. Because you couldn't help it. It's just what you've been trained to do. Your mind is made to find solutions. But it's always trying to find solutions from the framework of the problem. Which is why it's important to go beyond your senses, to go beyond your logical mind, and to rest in the solution. And from the solution, you'll start to see opportunities where you once saw problems. You broaden up your perspective. Where when you are in that state of worry, of doubt, we know this is all frequency, right? Everything is frequency. So when you are in that state of worry and doubt, you are in a lower frequency. You are in a denser frequency. And when you are in that dense frequency, you don't have enough space to move around. Like a few videos ago, I gave that analogy of the water. When water vibrates slowly, and when it's at a lower temperature, it's dense, it's ice. And to create paths is difficult, because you gotta sculptors, when they're creating ice sculptures, whatever, they're banging and really trying to open up that ice. So that's how you're in this dense energy of worry and doubt and fear, and you're trying to go towards your desire from this energy, which means that you are banging, and there's so much resistance in creating the path. And typically, because we like to do the path of least resistance, we're going to go down a path that's already kind of open within that dense energy. So it's I'm not about to spend so much energy creating a new path. I'm just going to go down a path that's already open. And usually it's a path that you're familiar with. And if you're familiar with it, which it means you're just going to keep getting the same results, because you've gone down this path many, many times. Whereas when you start to raise your vibration, right, you start to go into acceptance. You start to go into even feeling your emotions. That's going to raise your vibration, right? So maybe you're not 100% at peace and joy and enlightenment and all that, right? But you're just more so even anger, right? Anger is higher than fear, worry, and doubt. When you start to raise your vibration, you become more fluid like water. So now your possibilities are more open to you. Right? You're detaching. You're not so worried. You're not in doubt. You're detaching from all that. You're going to faith. You become fluid like water. So now there's more paths. There's more opportunities that you are aware of. And then, like I said, you go a step further. You vibrate even higher. You become vapor. You become water vapor, like air, which means that you're expansive, which means that you don't just see that one narrow path that you've been taking. You see all the paths, because the version of you that has your desire is already experiencing it in this moment, right? Because time is here, because we're thinking past and future. So we're creating linear time through our thoughts, through our perception of how we engage with this three-dimensional space. But outside of three dimensions, there's infinite versions of ourselves that are all existing in this time, living completely different lives, maybe just like slightly different. So maybe there's a version of yourself that's watching this in a different room, right? It doesn't have to be like a huge change, because it's infinite. There's infinite possibilities. So there's a version of yourself right now that's living the life that you want. It's just about aligning with that version. And the way to align with it is by getting out of your familiar pathways that you've been taking, your familiar ways of viewing reality, getting out of that consciousness and just shifting your attention to the fact that it's done, feeling it, because our feelings are the magnets, and then flowing there. And now you have the space, because you're not just in that ice. Your vibration is higher, so now you are fluid. You can move to that reality, and you move there energetically, not physically. The sense world is just a pass. Like as Neville would say, it's the world of Caesar. It's a shadow. It's a shadow of who we are. Even when we think about the subconscious, that frame, that image, right? You have the what we're conscious of. I think it's like 10%. And what's happening in the subconscious is like 90%. Most of our world is in the unseen. So you have to treat the seen as, of course, be present with it, but it's an afterthought. So you cannot rely on it as evidence of if things are working out for you. It's just not reliable. Plain and simple. It's not a reliable factor as if things are working out for you or not. So you have to detach from the sense world. And I don't mean detach from it like, go in your room, hide away, completely ignore, be so delusional that you pretend that nothing is happening. I just mean detach from your stories that you have about it. Detach from your narratives, because your narratives is just conditioning. It's the past. And if you keep your attention on it, you're going to get more of it. So you got to detach from the narratives, because your mind's going to say how, when, where. I need to know every last detail in order to feel safe and secure. No, you don't. Because you're already safe and secure now. You just have to turn your attention away from the thoughts that are saying that and place your attention into the present moment, into what's happening here without the narrative, without the narration that's going around what's happening. Okay? So this is why it's so important for you to detach, so that you can allow it to flow to you, so you can get out of those lower vibrational states and start to rise up in consciousness, rise up to the truth of who you are. Because the truth of who you are is let there be light, and there was light. Not let there be light. When is it going to come? How is it going to come? Oh my God, how could I even make there be light? I'm just this little being. That's detachment. That's attachment. You're attached. Detachment is let there be light and trusting that it will be. Because what you say is, what you declare will be. And this isn't about controlling or manipulating. I feel like to control and manipulate, you have to control and manipulate things that are not false to try to make it seem as true. When something is true, you don't have to control or manipulate anything. It's just the truth. And it was the truth. It will be the truth. It's always been the truth. It's always been the case. So I don't have to control or manipulate what I know to be true. I just align with it. I just fix my attention on the truth, and then I get more of that, right? You fix your attention on the truth, and then you'll get more of that. You don't have to manipulate, control, nothing. It's the truth. It's infinitely true. There's nothing that anyone can do to like not make it true. And that's how it is with the fact that you are aware. There's nothing that anyone can do to take away the awareness that you have. What you are aware of shifts. What you are aware of is constantly going through change. But the fact that you are aware, that's always true. In every lifetime, in every dimension, in every instant, you are aware, or there would be no experience. takes me to that analogy. If a tree falls down in the middle of the forest and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound? If no one's around to hear it, who would know that it made a sound or not? The question is completely flawed. Sound can only exist with a hearer. So if there's no one to hear it, there will be no way to know if it made a sound or not. We can imagine that it made a sound. We can think about if it made a sound. But to actually hear the sound, you have to be there. I mean, okay, wait. Because like I guess you can imagine that because our imagination is just as valid as what we experience. So that's very nuanced. I feel like I was about to eat, but it's some. I left some crumbs and I'm full, so I'm gonna slide the plate away because I thought I was about to eat, but I don't know about that. So yeah, it's just important to detach so you can become like the lover who is secure and who you're not making your partner cringe, or not making your desires cringe because you need them so bad. They will flow right to you because you become a magnet. You become the vibrational match for what you desire. So yeah, just it's done. And I don't know, I want somebody to count how many times did I say it's done in this video. Because it's done. It's really nothing else you need to do in order to make this a reality for you, but claim it and deal with the doubts and the worries and the fears that come up and the triggers that come up. And you deal with that by just shifting your attention to just changing your consciousness, putting on a new coat, putting on the new man in the vibration that it's all working out for you. And also, guys, my trigger journal is officially out. I'm so excited. So this is the proof, but the trigger journal is out. And if you guys want a physical copy, the link will be down below. I also have the digital version if you prefer that. I think it's like $10 cheaper for the digital version. But yes, here's the physical copy. And I talk a lot about how to deal with your triggers, because that's the main thing that's going to prevent you from detaching from your desires, is that you're just so caught up in the narration of your mind. You're so caught up with your conditioning, and you're so caught up with your triggers that it's influencing your emotional body. So this is what this journal will help you do. It has prompts. Each week it's a different thing. So like the first week it's about becoming conscious of the unconscious, and then we go into like self-inquiry. Then we go into like nervous system regulation, then we go into self-inquiry, and each week you have prompts, and then you just write it out, and you have like little exercises that you can do. And this is also a part of the group membership. So if you join a group membership, you'll get the digital journal for free. Well, it's a part of the group membership if you join. And then we also do bi-weekly calls. We have our first call coming up this Monday. I just opened the doors to the Beyond Collective. So if you're interested, click down below. And we'll be having calls about how to stay in this stay in the state of the wish fulfill, right? And then we're there to inspire each other, to hype each other up, to continuously remind each other of our power. You know, where there are two or more gathered in my name, there I am. There is power in numbers. There is power in community. And that's why I'm so passionate about it. And that's why I wanted to get this community out to you guys, and for you guys to come into my world where I will be coaching you, and we all are like there for each other to stay in the state of our wish fulfilled, so that it can become a reality, right? So that it could appear to us, so that we can align with it, because it's already out there. We're not making it happen. We're not trying to control, manipulate it to come into being. It's already there. It already exists. It's just about remembering, aligning, and opening our eyes to it. So if you're interested, everything is down below for the journal, the digital copy, and also for the community of like-minded individuals. We are all manifesting our way to our desires. So yeah, a little promo. Back to the video. Here are 5 steps to detach from your desired outcome. Step 1 is to have an aim. Have a clear aim. You don't have to get super specific, especially if you are not a vibrational match for what you want right now, because a lot of times you'll want something because you think it's going to bring you fulfillment and happiness. But once you start to place your awareness on the fact that you are already that now, your desires will change, right? It becomes more of an expression than a means to an end, than a way to attain the desire. So that's why I say have a loose, sure, if you know exactly what you want and you're very specific, go about that. But don't become attached to that either, because being so attached to like it has to look this way could also be creating a wedge between you and what you want. So I just always say, like, have an aim. Like, yes, say exactly what you want, but like don't become attached to that either, because the universe has ways and means of surprising you and bringing about your desires that you don't even know about. And it reminds me of that picture where the little girl's like, but I want it, God. And like she wants this like teddy bear, but God has like something so much bigger, like a much bigger, teddy bear. So like for some of you, that's the case, right? You're like, I really want this job. I really want this, income level, right? I really want this partner. I really want this house. Like it has to be this. It has to be this. If it's not this, then I don't want anything. Where you don't even know that the universe has something much, much grander planned for you. So just have a loose aim. Step 2 is, what is the emotion that you would feel if you had that now? So how would you feel if this were the case now? How does like if you have a partner, like is this a specific partner, or it's you just want to be in a loving, healthy relationship? How does it feel to feel loved now, to feel secure now? Practice feeling those emotions, because emotions are the magnet, right? Part 3 is spend at least 15 minutes a day visualizing, because again, our brain doesn't know the difference between imagined and visualization. I mean, imagined or physical reality. All it knows is that this world is nothing but another imagination, is nothing but a dream. So when we go into visualization and we feel the emotions as if they're real now, our subconscious is going to think that that is our reality, and it's going to rearrange reality to make it where we are aligning with that version. So go into visualization, right? And Neville always says, sleep is, I don't want to botch his words up, but like sleep is key. Like filling in is the secret. He has the whole in a filling is the secret is about sleep. Because when we are in that drowsy state, when our conscious mind is not so active, our subconscious mind is going to accept. Remember, our subconscious mind is controlling 90% of our lives. So when we give information to our subconscious mind, it's going to accept it, and it's going to make it a reality. Part 4, just acceptance. Acceptance and conviction. Work hard to just keep your attention on the fact that you are already who you desire to be. And I say work hard loosely. I really just mean align, remember, recognize that you are already that now. And just keep your attention fixated on that. And then step 5, part 5, is about meditate. Meditate 5 minutes a day. Start off with 5 minutes, then go to 10, then go to 15 minutes. Start to meditate so that you can align with this infinite, grander version of yourself. So that you can start to see that your mind is just narrations and it's constantly feeding you garbage. And it's not the truth, and you can take your attention away from it whenever you want. That's the point of meditation. And I'm not asking you for a lot. I'm asking you for like 20 minutes of your time a day. That's it. 20 minutes of your time a day. You have so many hours in a day. I'm asking for 20 minutes of your time so that you can train your energy to be in the conviction state. Train your energy to detach from the how, the when, and the who. Train your energy to be in the acceptance, to live in the end, to live from the state of the wish fulfilled. That's it. I don't feel like I'm asking a lot. And if you need support, you know where you can find me. You can find me in the Beyond Collective. You can find me and 10 amazing other creators in the Beyond Collective, and we're all supporting each other. Again, we have our first... Oh, wait, I said tomorrow. I'm not posting this video. So by the time this video posts, we have already had our call. So just come in the community and find out when we have our next call. Right now, it's Saturdays. Saturday mornings. If that sounds like a good time to you, come right on in. And Samaya's screaming. She's up. So y'all already know. If y'all my OG subscribers, my OG fam, y'all know when I hear Samaya, it's time to go. And I feel like we've talked enough. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe. Like, I feel like I never tell you guys to subscribe, but subscribe, like, so we can get this information out to as many people as possible, because we want everyone to step into their power, everyone to claim the abundance that is rightfully theirs, and to detach from the outcome, to just let it happen. Let it happen. Let it happen. It's gonna feel so good. Just let it happen. Tame Impala, if you know, you know. But I love that song. And I actually have that song in one of the slides in the membership. I forgot what week it corresponds to, but it's like, just let it happen because it's already happening. You're being taken care of. You're being taken care of better than you can take care of yourself. The universe knows all the ways and the means. It's gathering all the components for you. You just can't see it. But you got to trust that it's happening because it is. It's always happening. I love you. Talk to you soon. See you in the Beyond Collective. Bye.